toppers are a useful mod for overlanding, traveling, and keeping your gear safe in general. And if that's what you're searching for, but you also want some flexibility and convenience compared to the average setup, this Armadillo CoverX Camper inflatable truck bed topper in black is a great choice to consider for your 2020 or newer JT Gladiator. Now this topper is ideal for the JT owner who wants tough protection to their bed with vertical space for lots of gear, space to sleep, or whatever situation that your lifestyle calls for, with the ability to achieve it in minutes with a very easy to use system. It's also great if you're worried about your build's gross weight. Thanks to the lightweight nature, it won't weigh down the back, being especially advantageous if you need to balance out the weight of your overlanding gear or just want protection in a light and aerodynamic way. Now the two main features this topper has to offer are the protection it provides and the usability of the setup. So let's talk about durability of this first. Now this is super tough when it's mounted up and inflated, being weather and waterproof, resisting any wind, snow, rain, and most importantly, sun from damage or wear over time. It's not going to break this down. And what's also great about that is that you can use this as a shelter, put a bed mattress in, and be covered and comfortable away from the elements. Now when this is inflated, it also sits at cab height, again making this aerodynamic, reducing any drag and helping out with your MPG, which is especially great if you have larger tires. And again, it won't add too much weight to the back, being only 38 pounds. Now that also makes it very easy to lift and handle if it ever needs to be removed for larger cargo or other circumstances. And when it's removed and aired down, it folds up into a very compact size, as you can see here on the table, making it very easy to store, and then even comes with a little storage bag to protect it. This also includes a high power electric air pump, making it very easy in comparison to a manual air pump to get this situated and to install it on the back of your truck. And it even comes with a cigarette lighter adapter for very easy access. As I said, this is durable for an inflatable top made with a drop stitch fabric interlaced with strong polyester thread to harden when it's inflated, which will resist any punctures or damage within the fabric. Now it's also strong enough to support up to 250 pounds on top, which is great for additional gear or larger gear that you can't fit inside the bed, and includes 4 D-rings, as you can see here, for the top, and 2 rings or 2 D-rings on either side that can hold up to 75 pounds of force. Now the exterior is also UV protected with a PVC coating, includes clear vinyl windows, and even has a rear mesh zip-up window for ventilation, which may be helpful for those sleeping situations that I mentioned. Now the frame and hardware are also made of an aluminum construction. The rails are covered in a black powder coat for corrosion protection, and it completely clamps on, requiring no modification in order to install it. Now this is about $1,600, and while it sounds like a lot in the world of bed toppers or bed caps, this is an economical choice. Now compared to other inflatable tops though, this comes with an electric air pump, which is a big bonus compared to a manual option. It's super lightweight for a top, and it sits flush with that cab line for a sleek look, as to where others may sit a little bit over, making it a great choice if you know that those are some of the boxes that you want checked for your build. Now covering the bed can take form in many different ways, but if you're specifically looking for a bed topper and want a quality solution to do it with, this is a great choice for you. Install here is a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and it should only take about a half hour to get it out of the box, rails installed, and this topper inflated and put on the back of your JT. Now at this point, I'm going to pass you over to one of our installers. They are going to show you a detailed breakdown on how you can install this on the back of your JT. So that's gonna wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
For this install, you will need an impact, a 14mm socket, a pair of angle cutters or scissors, and an extra set of hands to help you set your topper on your truck. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing an inflatable bed topper on our Gladiator, so let's get started. Alrighty guys, so our first step is going to be to install our weather strip seal. Now we're going to be installing that along the bulkhead of our bed on the top part. Now you want to make sure that's nice and clean. You can wipe it down with a rag or whatever you have for non-solvent cleaning products. Then we're going to lay this out in between the footprints of our little caps on our bed rails. Once you have that pretty close to set, mark that with your hand. And you can grab a pair of scissors or angle cutters, whatever you have, and trim that down to size. Now once we have this trimmed down, we're going to remove some of the backing on our adhesive. You don't want to remove it all just yet. I'm going to pull a good bit off. We'll get this started. Again, inside that footprint, we're just going to lay this out, keep it centered on our bulkhead, peeling our backing away as we go. Now you don't want to stretch this too much because it does stretch very easily. Let that relax a little bit as you go. We'll work our way over. And if this does stretch, that's why we haven't pushed down on it just yet. You can peel a bit back, let it relax, and just go in the center. And once you have that on, give it a light press just to make sure it's in position. Alright guys, so now that we've got our weather strip on, we're over to our actual bed topper. Now we've got this laid out and we're going to need to grab our air pump. Now we do have it plugged into our 12-volt outlet inside the vehicle. The vehicle will need to be running to operate this pump. We're going to get everything hooked up first, then turn the vehicle on and pump this up. So what we're going to do is go around to all of the inflation spots around this and pump everything up to 8 psi as recommended. So we've got our pump, we've got our hose. We're going to put this on the inflate side, not the deflate side. We're going to secure this end. This screws right on. And we want to get that all the way down on there so it's nice and tight. And what we're going to do is come to the inside of our bed cover, and around certain spots at panels you are going to see the valves that we're going to need to hook to. So we're going to turn this counterclockwise and open the lid. These are on strings so they won't go anywhere. Now we can hook the other side of our hose to our inflation point. So that is on and secured. Now we'll turn the vehicle on and get the pump running. So now your pump is going to come on. It's set to a max of 10 psi, which we are going to inflate to because when you pull this out and put the cap back on, you're going to lose a little bit of air. All right, so your pump is going to automatically stop once it reaches 10 psi, which is what we want. So we're going to grab our cap, remove our hose, and put our cap on so we don't lose a lot of air. Now you do have a spring valve that's going to seal that so you don't lose excess air. You just want to make sure you have your lid just to make sure everything is secured. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing for the rest of our inflation points and get this thing blown up. All right. Now one important thing to note is you want to make sure your spring valve is in the up position, not the down position when you fill this. That's going to prevent excessive loss of air. So now that we have everything inflated, it's time to begin installing our rails. Now we've got our front rail that's going to go along this little bead lip on our fabric. And you want to have your rail facing up with the seal on the rail facing the inside of your topper. And then this is going to slide into the slot on the rail, the bottom one. So we'll get this lined up, make sure that seats properly. Bring this all the way over. Now this does have a little bit of fabric glued at the end of it. You'll just need to work that back. You don't want to remove it though. I'll make sure this sits nicely in the footprint of your topper. Now we're going to attach our side rails. So we've got the end that is going to be on our tailgate side facing the back end of our topper. And we're going to lay this in place. Then we're going to grab this lip that folds into our rail. Get that fold into place. Now these can be a little bit tricky. They are similar to like a soft top if you've ever done those. So we'll need to kind of fold this rail back a little to get this in there. Now we're going to leave it like this and do the other side as well. And once you have your flaps in place on both rails, we're going to connect our front rail and our two side rails. So we're going to need to fold this front rail in, and that is going to interlock the side rail. Now this is a tricky part of it. So we've got that in. You may have to pull back your strap a little bit and recenter that once you're on. Get that locked in. Make sure that's nice and secure. Then we'll do the same thing for the other side. Okay. Now we're going to install our last rail. Now this slots into these end points here. You want your zippers to be facing down and your seal to be facing up, as this is upside down currently. So we'll slot this into the first side. Get that all the way in. And then we can get it lined up on this side. Get that locked in place. Now we're going to zip up our mesh and plastic screens in the back. So the first thing you want to do is get this bottom zipper point in. Line that up. Hold that. Get this zipped. It's going to make the two side zippers much easier. And we'll bring our side zippers up. Then we'll do the same thing for our outer panel. Get this outer one hooked into its zipper. Zip that up. Now we'll also zip up our sides for our outer plastic panel. And once you get this zipped, you can also fold this lip around with your fabric into that slot, like so. And that little Velcro hooks in there, and you can do the same thing for the other side. Now we can slide it into place on our bed. Now if you're doing this at home, you definitely want to grab a buddy, but it is light enough to handle on your own if you're confident. Alrighty guys, so now once you've got this on your bed and centered up, we're going to need to install our clamps. Now this comes with 4, so we're going to put 2 on each of our side rails. And since we have the utility rails, we're going to use that style clamp. So we're going to grab the side that goes into our rails, slide these, one to the back, and then one at the front. And we can take the upper portion of our clamps, slide those in. Now you're going to need to remove that bolt. Get these in. We'll get them lined up with our clamps. And we'll reinstall that bolt and get it started on our clamp. And we want to start these by hand to make sure they go in nice and smooth. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a pain. And once they get started, you can use your 14mm socket, tighten these down. And then we'll do the same thing for the rest of our clamps. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Armadillo Cover Rex Camper Inflatable Truck Bed Topper in black finish for your 20 to current Jeep Gladiator JT. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Gladiator, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.